I used to sit at my tiny house in Texas and look at videos on YouTube about people expatriating to the countries of their dreams, and I had no idea how they were doing it. I couldn't find a comprehensive video. I didn't know where to start, and because of that, I had to do everything from scratch with trial and error. The good news is you don't have to, because in today's video, I'm going to tell you guys all of the steps that you need to take if you want to expatriate. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Anani. Great to see you guys again. It has been a while. I am now coming back to YouTube. I had a death in the family. My grandmother passed away. Rest in peace, grandmother. But I am now back trying to get back to a sense of normalcy. And that is what we are doing with today's video. So as mentioned before, let's not wait any longer. Let's jump right into it. Step 1 for what you need to do to expatriate. Very first thing you are going to do is you need to figure out what country you are going to go to. I tell people this all the time. It is one of the biggest questions that I get, and that is, well, where are we going to go? Where should we go? I don't know where to move to. And I tell people this all the time. Countries are not one size fits all. What works for you might not work for somebody else, and vice versa. For example, myself, the country that I chose to expatriate to that meshed with my spirit was Jamaica. I loved it when I traveled there. I felt like I was at home. I felt a sense of oneness and community that I hadn't found anywhere. So Jamaica worked for me. But if you ask another expat, they might say, oh, Botswana works for me, or Ghana works for me, or Nigeria, so on and so forth. So do your research and figure out what country best fits with you and your spirit. That statement could be quite a bit daunting because I know people would still have the question, but still, I don't even know how to narrow it down. So with that, I will narrow it down a bit, but I still recommend you go do your individual research. And I will give you a few countries that Black expats say they love and have moved to. In the expat community, you might hear about Costa Rica. You might hear about Panama. Tanzania is another one people love. Botswana. Barbados is another one. Belize, I've heard that Belize is absolutely beautiful. Grenada, I have heard, is one of the most friendly Caribbean countries. Dominica, Colombia, Portugal. I have even heard sometimes in the Black community, people say the Philippines and Taiwan they like. Again, though, I am an advocate for Black power, so I do recommend going to more Black-centered countries, but I'm just throwing that out there in case you guys are interested as well. And then last but not least, of course, the country that I am choosing, Jamaica. Also, when narrowing down where you want to go, I asked myself these questions, and I recommend you ask these questions to yourself as well. Figure out when you pick your place, where do you want to be? Do you want to be more city, or do you want to be more rural? Also take into account what's important for you. I know some people say, okay, being near a hospital or being within close commute to a hospital is very important for me. While others might say, okay, I don't really have transportation in this place that I want to move to. So being in walking distance to markets or shops and things like that are more important. Also during this step, it is very important, if you do not have your passport, you need to start applying for your passport immediately. You cannot expatriate anywhere if you don't have the golden ticket to get through these ports. Once you've narrowed all this stuff down and you have picked the country that is best for you, you're now ready for step 2. You're going to want to research residency, the citizenship process, if you're interested in citizenship over residency, and the home ownership laws, rules, and regulations. It is very important to know the rules. Know the rules of where you are moving to. Can foreigners even buy homes in these locations? Can they buy property? Can they buy land? I know some places, if you are a land person and that's more your speed over getting a house, some people or some countries, they lease out land. You can't buy it fully, so you would have to take that into account. It's also important to know the process to get residency or the process to get citizenship. How long does it take? You might have to take that into account. What's required? Do you need certain medical clearance? Do you need certain documentation and things of that nature? For example, me, myself in Jamaica, right? I'm a foreigner. So foreigners, when they buy homes with a mortgage, we are required to put 10% down as the down payment. We can't go lower than 10%. So at the time you close, you have to have 10% worth of the money of the home. And so that requires additional saving and additional planning. Also, you need to figure out things like taxes. How do taxes work in these lands? What are the laws of the land? What are the do's and don'ts? What can or you can't do? Before you get attached to a location and a place, make sure you can actually live there long term. Make sure you know the rules, because you do not want to find out the rules of a country when it's too late. Now we move on to step 3. Once you figured out those 2 things, now you're going to start looking up the average cost of homes for the destination that you are interested in. When I'm talking about looking up the cost of homes, I'm not talking about the dreamy homes and stuff like that. No, I mean like the real deal cost of decent homes that you could probably get if you're moving to these places. When I first started home searching in Jamaica, I had no idea kind of what the norm was, right? So I would go and I would look and I would see houses for $50,000, and then I would see some for $300,000, and I didn't know like quite what I was getting, right? You don't know. I didn't really know at the time, like the average cost of living, but homes in Jamaica the prices of them are comparable to those in the United States. It's just, I would say you can get a little bit more space for the cost, if that makes sense. No matter where you're going, if it's a lower cost, it might be a thing. If it's a higher cost, you might get more, right? It's the same principle. So don't just think like, oh, because I'm not in America, right? Like I can go and get this $50,000 house and it's going to look like a $300,000 house in America. No. So understand the cost of the house, understand the cost of living, do your research, make sure you're not getting gypped and stuff like that. And then you will have a better understanding of the home buying process or the price of the home. Now, once you have figured out the average cost of the homes and you see kind of the price of the homes that you are the most interested in, now it is time to build your budget. My best tips for this is don't just say, I need blank amount of money. No. Plan out exactly how you're going to get that amount of money. So say, for instance, say you see a house for $180,000, right? And you're saving for your down payment. Let's just say your down payment is, let's say we're going off Jamaica, right? So it'll be 10% of that. So that means that at least, and other fees will come into account, but let's just say this for a base price, you will have to save $18,000. After that, you're going to set a timeline. How long am I going to give myself to save $18,000? For this particular scenario, let's say we are going to be saving for 2 years. So that means that you're going to have to save $9,000 a year. Divide that by another 12 months. That means that you're going to have to save $750 over the course of 2 years to afford your down payment for your home. Now it makes it more real, it makes it more tangible, because you know what you have to put away per month in order to meet your goals. Now, of course, like I said, this is a base estimate. You're going to need more for legal fees, your moving expenses, stuff like that. But again, starting somewhere helps make it a reality. Now that you know how much you're saving, now it's time to open yourself a savings account and cut back on any additional spending. Cut out anything that is excess in order to hit your goal even faster. Any extra subscriptions that you don't need, cut it out. If you go out eating excessively, cut some of it out. If you have movies you like to go to or other things like this, see if you can lessen that. Any extra dollar helps go towards your savings, and you can hit your goals a lot faster. Also, like I said previously, opening up a savings account is very crucial. I used to never understand why people had them. I was just like, don't spend the money in your account. But no, savings accounts are very useful. Open one and understand the money in this account is not to be touched. You have to have a certain level of discipline to know that whatever is here, you cannot use it. We understand emergencies happen and stuff like that, but as much as possible, just know for yourself, act like you don't even have that money. Act like that money is not even a factor, so that you are able to save the money that you need in order to hit your goals. Now, once you have researched all your laws, you know exactly where you're going. You've seen houses, so you saved the money. It's time for you to go and find the exact house that you want. Go put the down payment down. But again, do not rush this process. It could take some time. What people fail to realize is just because you have the money, there are still certain legalities that must be completed before you are officially a homeowner. For example, myself. Now, I was in the States while all this was happening, but from the time that I bought my house, like put the down payment on it to the time that it closed, it was about a 9-month process. So if you were planning on like moving over to that place, staying in maybe a rental home until your home is fully signed in your name, you need to take those fees into account and things of that nature, because it's not always, oh, you're signing for the offer and you get the house like in 3 months. It doesn't work like that. Now, during your savings phase, it is also going to be very important that you figure out what you are going to do when you expatriate. You're going to need to pick your mental end date to say, hey, at this point in time, I want to be out of America, or wherever you're from. And you also need to understand what you're going to do to sustain yourself or for work. There are a lot of countries that expatriates go to, and the locals there will tell you straight up, do not come here thinking you are going to get a job. Come here with either your own money or come here with residual income from your home country and things of that nature. So do understand where you are moving. If you don't already just have a job secured, you need to take these things into account of, you might not just be able to go over, fill out an application and get a job. No, figure out how you're going to sustain yourself. So for me, I accounted into my additional savings a good 6 months worth of living money until I was able to get on my feet, until I was able to rent out my rental home for additional income and stuff like that. Unless you are retiring and just have thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, or you have a job where you can like work remotely or something like that, you need to figure out what you are going to do for a living. Lastly, figure out what you are going to do to move your items from your home country to where you are expatriating. For example, I know in Jamaica, a lot of people do barrels, what they call barrels. So they'll get one, they'll put all their stuff in it, they'll ship it there, and then you can have the items that you had in America in Jamaica. But figure it out. Are you going to container ship everything? Are you just going to buy all new items? Are you going to ship it FedEx? Although those prices can be more expensive, but figure out how you're going to get your items from one country to the next. And that's my roadmap. That is what I followed in order for me to move from America to Jamaica. I'm still in the process of going back and forth. I'm still shipping things over. Currently, I am in the States because of my grandmother's funeral, but I will be going back to Jamaica very shortly and learn from my mistakes, learn from my advice, and hopefully your process will be a lot easier than mine was. If you guys are interested in why exactly I decided to move to Jamaica, you can click this video here or somewhere on the screen and it will tell you all about it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.